So continuing on now, this side piece that hangs over was really wobbly, and I've put a patch or a strengthener over each of these pieces because they're separate. This front one, this middle one and this back one are all separate, and I've done it for two reasons. One reason was there was a gap here on the side, and there was quite a big gap here. Unfortunately, it was quite big, and I've welded it in and we can lead load it afterwards. But as the other reason, main reason was to actually make this more strengthened. It was a little bit wobbly, so I've done that one. What I'll do now is build this side, do this bit in the front here, and I'll probably leave it at that, and then stick the cab back on and see how we're sitting and kind of go on from there. So I'll start making this side up now to go against this edge here, and I'll probably do the same thing. I'll make that one piece and then I'll make the front piece and do the same thing and put these two strengthening patches here and here, because as I say, now that's strong. This was quite wobbly and it's solid now, so is that. Possibly what I'll do is maybe even put some edging on that where it goes along the side of the running board, so it looks neat and the gap is the same all the way around. But there's an awful lot of work to do. All I'm trying to do is get the basics of it, and as I said, I don't want to put a lot of time and money into it if for whatever reason I can't get any paperwork for it or I can't use it. It's a lot of money for an ornament, so we'll do the basics we need to do and then go from there. So I'll bring you back when I've got the other side, and I've got this side cut out. Okay, so I'm going to pack it in for the night. So I've got this side all in, got these extra ones done it the same on this side. I haven't put that front piece in because I'm not sure about this angle here, so I'll put that in when it's back on, and I can get the right shape for it, because obviously it's got a shape to the arch and so on. And I've also done that piece in there on the front, welded it all the way along and just stick some primer on it. So there we are. So what I'll do now is I'll put the cab back on and dinky up all these bits, this bit on the side, and see how this strip is. I've made it identical to this one, and I just hope that it's straight, that it's in the right position. Not 100% sure. It should be as near as damn it. Anyway, and then I've got to redo all this step in here. I've welded it on, but I've got to clean it all up and get it straight to the door. So there we go. So I'll have another crack at it tomorrow, but I'll put it onto the cab and see how we go from there. I've got the pedals mounted back in. They might look like they're quite far forward, but they have quite long pedal stems on them that come out. So they're all bolted in, all bolted in down the side. That one's done, and it's bolted in down the bottom. So the next thing I'm going to get on with is this back plate. So I had these sheets pre-cut or guillotine when I bought them. So that's all set up. I've got it lined. What I'll now do is cut it down here, just inside that white line, and that'll be the back piece. And then I'll make another piece to go across the bottom here. So I'll go from here down into this one, and I've checked it with a prot shaft, and it's not going to be in the way at all, but it will be wobbly in the middle, so I'm going to have to probably put a bar across here to that side, otherwise it's going to kind of oil can, it's going to make a tinny noise. So I'll pop this one off and make up the next sheet. Oh, that was a bit harsh.
This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Go wash your German veg, your boat race too. Coat your bonnet fair, we got a lot to do. Put on your dicky-dur and your peck and ride, 'cause time's to hurry and buy. Get your skates on, mate. Get your skates on, mate. No bib around your Gregory Peck today. Hey, from your plates of meat, right upon the sink. This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Gotta get it moving, move on. Jump in the jump, jump, get straight. Hurry up, mate, gonna be late. And now it's your father. Tickety-poo, tickety-poo, gotta get it moving, move on.
Problem on the cab there, it's actually catching that running board, so I'm going to have to bring it up. So I've made a mark on it on both sides coming off these running boards, which are straight, and you can see it comes right to that end there. So I need to cut that back because it's catching on here, so that'll need to come up. I can take this piece off and fix that up, and that will make it exactly the same level as the other side. It does seem to be a little bit short, but as you can see there, in fact that one needs to come up a little bit as well. You can see from the end there it's pretty good. If I zoom in, you can see where I've got to put that new piece on the end here. But basically it'll come down. I'll need to cut that a little shorter. But the cab isn't bolted down at the moment. I need to go and get 4 big huge bolts to bolt it down. Once I bolt it down, then I'll square it up and then get it cut, but it's definitely catching on the other side. It could be because it's tilted slightly, although I have the front bolt in, so this one here, so I would have thought it's okay. Anyway, we shall keep going with it. Let me just pan that back out, sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, so I'll get it squared up and see how it looks. But it looks so much nicer with that white and with that primer on it. And also you can see that it's not touching anything on the bottom, that bit there, where I made the bottom of the cab, so that's good. It's not actually touching the chassis at all, so that's good. So I'll bring you back when I've got some more bolts and I cut them. Okay, so there's the patch I've made up. So what I've done is I've used this tool here to, it's an air tool, and I've used that to shrink in the edges, and there's a little lip inside it now so that this bit fits flush with the outer skin. You can see there. Like that. Fits in line with it, and it's flush to the body. So I'll get that popped in. I'll get it painted on the inside first, and the overlap, and then I can make, that's it, that's better there, and yeah, get that welded up. Should give you an idea of what the overall effect should look like. That's just held in there with wire at the moment, but we've had the bonnet on, and obviously this is too far in, there'd be rubber behind this, so it would actually be in line with this edge. And you can see obviously the end here is in not very good condition. What I need to do is work it out when it's on the bonnet how far up it is, and I can make it neater so I can extend this. Obviously you want a bit of a gap in between it because you don't want the metal touching the metal. And then there's big spring clips that go onto here. I think there's one there, there's a handle goes in there, and another spring clip on the front. and I'm not sure if that goes in or out. I'll need to check that. Maybe it goes that way. I can't remember if it's inside or outside. Yeah, it looks like it's outside, so that's how it would sit. But I have to put the whole side and the top on first to check it, and then we'll make a template for that so that it fits a really nice coach line fit across there. So yeah, I think that'd be nice. So that's that bottom piece in. I've undercut the weld because what I want to do is lead load all these seams when they're all finished up, so they need to be lower. And I've done that, purposely lowered them so that we can lead them all, because that's how it would have been done in them days. They would have lead loaded everything. And there we are. Obviously this all needs repair in here, and this I'll straighten this flange up and I'll put a brand new flange in it, because there's basically nothing there at the moment. But you can see how it's going to look, which I think is quite good. Yeah, we're certainly getting on. I think by the middle of next week I can take some photographs, get them off to Citroen, and we'll go from there. So there we are at the moment. I'll have to build everything back up, because everything sits on this radiator. You know, where the radiator sits here on this base, and then you've got two tie rods go from there and there across, and then everything sits on that. But we've still got some. These have still got to be put in yet. They've got to be lined up. These are on, but I need these now to bolt through and tighten them up. And we can put the steering box back on and actually maybe move it around, because it's easy enough to push, but we'll see. There we are. So on that note, as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and I'll catch you up during the week